every moment extreme. No TV, we're living the dream. Roaring engines, pixels bursting like flames. Digital warriors, no face, just names. Science going for the sweet finish line. Sweat soaked battles outside space and time. No TV burning in my veins tonight. Wheels spin, pixels ignite the fight. Flag to flag, every moment extreme. No TV, we're living the dream. Roaring engines, pixels burst like flames. Digital warriors, no face, just names. Tires calling for the sweet finish line. Sweat soaked battles outside space and time. No TV burning in my veins tonight. Wheels spin, pixels ignite the fight. Flag to flag, every moment extreme. No TV, we're living the dream. Strap me in, fuel me with untamed speed. Data in the storm, all the rush I need. Glitches on the edge, chaos in the stream. Sim racing paradise, unraveling the sea. No TV burning in my veins tonight. Wheels spin, pixels ignite the fight. Flag to flag, every moment extreme. No TV, we're living the dream. Flashing lights in the dark, baritone hum. Engines scream till the wild hearts succumb. Virtual roads where the asphalt sweat fire. Chasing glory through the chaos of desire. No TV burning in my veins tonight. Wheels spin, pixels ignite the fight. Flag to flag, every moment extreme. No TV, we're living the dream. Roaring engines, pixels bursting like flames. Digital warriors, no face, just names. Science going for the sweet finish line. Sweat soaked battles outside space and time. No TV burning in my veins tonight. Wheels spin, pixels ignite the fight. Flag to flag, every moment extreme. No TV, we're living the dream. Roaring engines, pixels burst like flames. Digital warriors, no face, just names. Tires calling for the sweet finish line. Sweat soaked battles outside space and time. No TV burning in my veins tonight. Wheels spin, pixels ignite the fight. Flag to flag, every moment extreme. No TV, we're living the dream.
Fuel burns in the glow of the pixel blaze. The rubber is rolling, the fist clenched tight. Your TV lights up the endless night.
Fight to fight, we live the speed. No TV feeds our endless need. Heartbeats pound and engines climb. Let's broadcast
lightning storm. Digital warriors breaking the norm. Turn the wheel to the breakneck roll. Sun rays down to the thunder soul.
And welcome back to Nerd TV for another Smoky Mountain Sim Racing Series race live from the simulated Echo Park Speedway here for race number 7 of the 2026 season here, as we are getting our countdown to green underway, presented by Icon Apparel Company. And we are going back to Super Speedway Racing, which back to the very first race of the season. We had a pretty good season opener, I would say. And these guys are looking to capitalize on that momentum from race number 1 and get the cautions down a little bit and having a good solid race here at Echo Park. As the weather on the track and the race information is right there on your right hand side of your screen. Fixed setups, 3 green, white checkered attempts, and the tire sets. I think it's going to be 3 in the pit road. Maybe I'll get race control confirmation here shortly on that. 70 degrees on track, 66 in the sky, as we are currently 5:53 p.m. session time in this practice session. My name is Jeremy Stanley, aka Jay Swifty. Not to my right side is Jason Rockefeller, but is the man who did it with me just on Tuesday, 2 nights ago, Mr. Dustin Loxton, with a million+1 hats here tonight again. What's going on, dude?
Ready to watch a wild race here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. I refuse to call it whatever they want to sit here and call it. Look, the track there.
Echo Park
Nope,
Speedway.
the track right there on the screen says Atlanta right there. It's Atlanta Motor Speedway. You can't change my mind. Fake news. Fake news. Fake news. No. But it's a different track. It's going to be a tough one for drivers. Jeremy, you and I, we've had many talks on this. You know my standpoint on this track here. I am not a fan of the new layout. I like Old Atlanta way better.
Loser.
If they would have just repaved Old Atlanta and left it like that and not sat here and tried to turn it into a mini restrictor plate freaking track, or sorry, drafting track as they put it now.
There you go.
It would have been way better than whatever this concoction or freaking thing is, but it still poses some good racing. It does. It's just when you throw restrictor plates on a car, I mean, you have that Daytona Talladega mindset, and you can't do that here, Jeremy. You can't hold it wide open like you do at Daytona Talladega, because you will burn those tires up on this 1.5-mile configuration, whereas you have 2 miles and 2.5 miles and 2.66 miles at Daytona and Talladega, respectively. It doesn't work. So you're going to see cars, they will get loose here at times. They will burn their tires. They will get tight in the corner and start plowing, depending on what happens. These are new things that drivers have to worry about coming to Atlanta Motor Speedway.
One would say you would call this track a Bryce headcoction.
There it was.
There it was. Brothers track. One of the drivers. Shout out to them for being here tonight. And so I could use your last name for a little bit of fun there on that conversation. And points. We do have points updated on our graphic each and every single week that updates naturally at this point in time. And there you are on the right-hand side of your screen. Nate Lesko, Braxton DeWeese have a fantastic lead over Austin Wheeler, Nick Kaufman, and Clay Sampson, who currently holds your top 5 there. 67 points separates your top 5, which is a decent chunk of points. And as it gets down further to the top 10, you got 109 points out, 15th, 141. It's not the current NASCAR points where it's 1 point here, 1 point there, at least from last year anyways. So it's a little bit more spaced out than what we're kind of used to seeing there, Dustin.
Yeah, it is. No, I mean, they're still working down towards, trying to be in that bracket there for the playoffs and everything else. But, clearly, Nate Lesko, Braxton DeWeese, they've been the talk of the field there. Their finishes have been consistent. Fantastic job by Austin Wheeler as well. I mean, he's still hanging right in there. He's been stringing together some good set of runs as well. Nick Kaufman been doing excellent as well. Not going to be in session tonight. That's one of the penalties that has been issued. Is serving a 1 race suspension, and then we'll be coming back on a set amount of probationary races. But there was a number of penalties after last week, Jeremy. It wasn't just Nick. I mean, there was a number of penalties that were issued out after last week's race. I mean, 22 cautions. It was tough.
Yeah, you have 22 cautions, and you're going to be bound to find some people on that penalty report. And the number 42 and 84 each are serving a 1 week voice chat suspension on the iRacing side. Discord's still fully allowed, of course, but on the iRacing side, you can't voice your opinion. And then they had to review a caution back on lap 89, which involved the number 32. Since that was not a claimed caution, it was posted after the race. He will serve an EOL penalty. So Nick Biddy and car 32 dropping to the back to not. It doesn't matter, rather, where he qualifies here tonight. He'll be going EOL to start this thing off. And we are doing qualifying, speaking of which, Dustin. So we're going to get our cameras off the screen and go full screen here. And this is a drafting track. So, really, the lap times really don't matter, Dustin. The handling at this place will fade as the run goes on into the sunset. But with that being said, it's going to be a huge pack of cars. And we've been told by race control and admins, you cannot qualify below the double white line. So all these drivers must obey that double white line as a no-go zone.
Yeah, and that was something that was expressed in detail by and very animate by the league admins that you will stay above that line even during qualifying. Now that's different. A lot of leagues will be lax when it comes to that, and you can use that at what would have been restrictor plate tracks, Daytona, Talladega, but now drafting tracks. Yes, I'm still doing the open air course, even though you can't see it. That also transitioned over to Atlanta here as well, being able to go below. But at Smoky Mountain Sim Racing, they said no, you're going to qualify the way you're going to race. You can't go below that double white and red line that's down there. So you're going to stay above that during qualifying.
So as we got him on TV, I know we got Steve Rada up in there in the race control. He's got to cycle through all these cars to make sure every single driver obeys. Especially this guy that we're watching, the main admin here for Smoky Mountain Sim Racing. He better be obeying that wall there. And so we got him on TV. We've got race control watching. So they're going to do just that. And as we go into sunset, iRacing has called themselves out 2 weeks ago when they posted their build update video on YouTube saying they know that they are terrible at night lighting, and that's one of their major fixes coming in one of the future builds, either this coming season or the next. So if you just noticed there, right when that sun transitioned to a certain time frame, the track turned almost black there, and a complete different shading hit the track.
Yeah, I mean, and the good thing is that's something that iRacing is aware of. They know that that's where they're kind of lacking at, and they're working on trying to get that corrected. I mean, that's one thing, especially at a track like this here, Jeremy, when you're going through that transition, you don't want to lose your marks. You don't want to lose any visibility or anything like that as a driver, because as close as these drivers are going to be running, it's going to be like a Daytona Talladega. It's going to be bumper to bumper. You don't want to lose any sense of distance or spacing whatsoever, because it could be catastrophic.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you're 3 wide and you get that little transitional light hitting you, it could throw you off, and it could cause a big wreck at these drafting tracks without air quotations.
Oh, no, there's air quotation. Always air quotation.
As we're on Joey Logano and his Nesquik Toyota Camry here. I say
he does kind of. I didn't realize that with Joey's new hairdo, the whole shaved bit. It does kind of look like a Joey Logano with that cartoon effect.
I just see
nothing against you, Nate. Nothing against you.
I just see Pennzoil all over that red and yellow. I guess more brown could have been applied to give it more of that Nesquik vibe. I'm not sure, but I'd say every time I see it, I just think Joey Logano. And as he crosses the line there to complete his second lap. Right now in qualifying, Tyler Bowling still holds the qualifying top spot out of 23 times posted. Peyton Holland, Robert Hattenbach, Austin Wheeler, and Al Likens currently your top 5 with 30 seconds left, Dustin. We got about 30 entries, I think exactly. 23 of posting time. 7 have elected to start EOL, I do believe.
Yeah, it's going to be a really big field. Now, qualifying, it's a drafting track, so you can start in the back and be up at the front in a matter of 5 laps if you play your cards right, work the draft, and work the momentum properly. This right here, Jeremy, the biggest ploy is pit stall selection. the further up you are, the better off you are when you're trying to win that race off pit road, and that's what a lot of these drivers are trying to do. That and some of these drivers, they're electing to do one of two things. They're electing to either be in the front and away from the chaos, or they're electing to be in the back and able to stop before they run headfirst into the chaos. So, I mean, it's a strategy thing.
Qualifying is over. So they're going to take 2 minutes to get these cars gridded up on pit road, and then we're going to set sail for 130 laps here in this race number 7 of the 2026 season. And let's get at it. Let's go over the starting lineup for tonight's BK Designs 200. Tyler Bowling's going to start P1 with Peyton Holland on the outside starting in second place. Row 2, you're going to find Robert Hottenbach starting in third place. In fourth place, the 48 of Austin Wheeler. Row 3 in fifth place will be Al Likens in car 6. Braxton DeWeese will start in P6. Row number 4 and 7th, Nate Lesko. Into his outside, Mr. Dylan Picklesheimer in car number 12. Row 5 and 9th will be Tay McDonald, which is a new name here. And Daryl Johnson in car number 60 and 10th. 11th place will be Raymond Hanneman. Into his outside, Blake Treywick in P12. 13th will be Bryce Hedgecock, and to his outside on 14th, Bill Hagan. Row 8 and 15th will be Jeremiah Nelson. 16th place will be held by Brandon Biddy. 17th place, you're going to see Raymond Bell there in the 26th, Dana Ryan, and P18. 19th will be Brandon Finley. Chris Cash starting in 20th place. 21st to start off row 11 will be David Mayberry, Natasha Bedoin making the start here tonight, P22. 23rd, Eddie Baker in car 84. Dylan Ellis. It starts in 24th. 25th will be Christian Marcelli. And to his outside, Nick Biddy in 26th. 27th will be Mitch Diamond. Kevin Bullock. And 01 will start in 28th. 29th place will be Stephen Harden. And to round out the top 30, Tyler Curley in car number 43. And there you go. 30 in, 30 roll off. Dustin, what's your expectations tonight? Do we see continued double digits, or do we think we gotten it buttoned up a little bit and are going to have a hell of a race here tonight?
I know the admins have been working over the past week to really instill in these drivers that the quality of racing is in their hands. The admins have given them all the tools, but they stated that, again, it's the racecraft. It's that give and take that they need to do. You know, last week we seen a lot of drivers and a lot of incidents happen early on. You know, it's where we still had 100 laps left in the race. You know, you can't win the race, you know, with 100 laps left. They told them, again, give and take, pick and choose your moves. You know, it's when it comes down to it, go for it. But that should be, you know, towards the end of the race a little bit, not in the middle of the race. They want to get away from these double-digit cautions. They know the skill level in this field is there. And this track is one that can give them that opportunity. It's not a true super speedway like Daytona Talladega. It's that 1.5 mile configuration, but still that close drafting. I'm expecting some good racing tonight, Jeremy.
18, Bryce Hedgecock, back of the line for cutting on the qualifying lap. So one was tagged for that. As here we go. The green flag is in the air. A little bit of a trouble start for the inside lane, about 7 or 8 rows deep. It's going to stack up that inside lane momentarily here. I think that was Raymond Bell in car number 26. He comes over the radio and just simply says, "My bad," on that one. Recognizes the situation as we get through turns 1 and turn 2. 2 by 2 by 2, we keep it.
Yeah, and you're going to see a lot of this as well, 2 by 2 racing. And, you know, just because there was a bad start, Jeremy, it's not going to take them long to get that built back up again. And it's going to be one solid pack. But right now, up front, Tyler Bowling and that 15 Spider Machine leading the way. Robert Hottenbach right now giving him the business on that rear bumper. That low lane really starting to get settled in. High lane trying to get something organized. But, Jeremy, it takes a little bit. And right now you see, contact between the 15 of Bowling and the 3 of Hottenbach. As Hottenbach went to the high side for a move, does complete it. He takes over the race lead.
Robert with the power move there into turn 3 to take the race lead. Going to be your first lead change of the night here on lap 3 is now the Ghost Toyota Camry on the outside. Car number 19, Peyton Holland, looking to do the same thing the 3 just did a lap prior as he gets the nose advantage off of turn number 2. great help from Austin Wheeler right behind him there. Gets him cleared if he has it. He can have it if he wants it. Does not. Currently keeps to the outside, helping the 48.
Yeah, and Jeremy, you're going to have drivers that are going to prefer one lane over the other. You know, we've seen it a lot in these Gen 7s and now the trucks because they drive and the draft package is very similar. That high line tends to maintain that momentum a lot easier. You can pinch that low lane a little bit more to really control that, and you can really pack that air on that low lane as well. So a lot of drivers will prefer that high side. The issue is, Jeremy, is just like at a Daytona Talladega, you have to watch and maintain that temperature. That temperature, control is big. You will grenade and pop these engines, and if you do that, especially right in the middle of a heated battle, there's no place for these other cars to go.
Yeah, absolutely not there. And in the back, there's a lot of checking up there. They went 3 wide momentarily off a missed bump. And they go back 3 wide once more. And Natasha Bedoin up the middle here for roughly 20th position. Passes the 84 of Eddie Baker. Clears him as they go back 2 wide through the whole entire field. As the 3 of Robert Hottenbach gets back to the race lead. Was scored 3rd place last lap. Goes back here on lap number 5.
Yeah, and you see that that momentum drive on that inside lane. I mean, you'd seen the 19 of Peyton Holland and the 48 of Austin Wheeler. They did have the position on Hottenbach in that 3 car, but again, big push, big draft pull there from the 15, was able to throw that 3 back up in the lead. Now, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if that 15 of Tyler Bowling, if he gets clear to that high line, if he jumps up to try to retake that top spot where he started this race.
Yeah, 100% there. Robert continued to lead the race. The 19 backs it off a few car links there as maybe the 48 running a little too hot, has to check up. The inside lane's got all the momentum here. They got 3 cars single file, almost 4 with Nate Lesko into the picture. Now there goes the number 6. Al Likens looking to the outside of the 15. Tyler Bowling off of turn number 4 to complete lap number 7. Robert Hottenbach still leads the thing.
Still leads the thing. The 6 of Al Likens trying to get big pushes from the likes of the 19 of Peyton Holland right now.
Wreck in the back.
Got a wreck in the back.
Caution's going to be out. Multiple cars involved, Dustin. A little bit of a bad bump. One car gets loose over Cricks to the outside, slams another vehicle as we're going to go back to the Nerd TV replay and take a look. There's contact to the 1 to Bill Hagan, number 5. He's going to overcorrect. Oh, he gets tagged by the 29, shoots up into the 12 there. Or no, number 2?
Yeah, 2.
Number 2 there. You can always never tell because that's a Ryan Blaney paint scheme, but gonna smash into him. So only a total of maybe 3 or 4 drivers technically involved in this one.
Yeah, you see the 1 drift up, and that's what I'm talking about. Once these tires get some heat, they will start drifting up right into the 5 of Hagan, back down into Mayberry, jumps back up into the 2 of Brandon Biddy right now. Chris Cash makes wall contact. Raymond Bell makes wall contact. Evasive maneuvers by everybody else there. So a little bit of damage on the 2 of Brandon Biddy, the 69 of Chris Cash, 26 of Raymond Bell. Otherwise, I mean, Jeremy, you look at that overall, though. I mean, that could have been way, way worse with where that was at, though. A lot of drivers took evasive action. So solid moves by those guys and gals.
Yeah, 100% there is, we're going to see who comes down pit road. You have to commit to turn 3. And they implement that, I think, in 2024, that section down there, because it's really difficult to go from full speed and pull right off into a quick entrance on pit road here at Echo Park Speedway. In the 26, Raymond Bell, he's going to be the first, or one of the first ones to go down there. Number 2, of course, Brandon Biddy with the damage. Then you got about 5 or 6 others behind him. So about a quarter of the field, Dustin, electing to maybe take a set of Goodyear tires on this opening pit stop on lap 10.
Yeah, and a number of those drivers were ones that were involved in that incident there. So Brandon Biddy, we know, Raymond Bell involved, Bill Hagan involved. So no surprise that they're coming down pit road right now to the service of their virtual pit crew, try to get some of that damage fixed up. We will bring up the AI chief patch-up report once pit stops are done. Kind of give you an insight on some of the damage that's going here. Some of the other drivers may be coming down. They might have accrued some damage that we weren't able to catch on camera. Could be getting some tires. Could be filling it up as well. Fuel's going to be a thing. Now, we do have a stage break, Jeremy, at the conclusion of lap 40. So these drivers the caution will be thrown at the conclusion of 40. That is a scheduled stage break caution. And then they will race out the remaining laps. Now, within the remaining laps, the fuel window is about 45 laps. All of our telemetry software is right around there. Again, that's an estimate. They could save in the draft. They could burn more if they're out front leading. 45 is that safe medium. After the stage break, if it stays green, they could potentially go the distance on only one more stop after that, Jeremy. So could be trying to pack as much fuel in these cars early on.
It's good information there, and we should get the one to go signal this time. That number 3 car, Mr. Robert Hottenbach, excellent job so far to start this thing off, showing off a great amount of speed on the high side to pass and take over, and then on the inside where I thought it was going to be a little bit more challenging to maintain that race lead, he's shown that he can just lead the thing. Doesn't matter if he's got the 6 behind him or the 20 or the 15, 48. Like, I think right now he's got this thing dialed in. It's on a fixed setup, Dustin, so it's all about that steering ratio and how smooth you are behind the wheel. This track especially, only being a mile and a half, you have to turn the wheel a little bit more. You got to be a little more consistent on that, a little extra smooth, because this track is not, or a little less forgiving compared to Daytona or Talladega.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of that's going to be, you know, the way that they do it. Like you said, Jeremy, smoothness on that wheel, you know, not bobbing and weaving everywhere. What that does for the driver behind you, because this is a drafting track. There's a lot of bump drafting here. There's a lot of tandem drafting. It makes life easier for your drafting partner behind you to know where you're at and to really hook up and get you guys and get that momentum going forward. So that is a big thing when you come to any track like Atlanta here, or a Daytona, or a Talladega.
As we are coming back to the restart here, lap number 12, we're going to fire these things off for the second time this evening. Top 5, the Robert Hottenbach, Tyler Bowling, Al Likens, Nate Lesko, and Peyton Holland. The biggest mover out of those 5 is Nate, up 3 spots here. See if he can continue on that venture, maybe get some laps led. Green flag back in the air. Looks like everyone goes through gear 2 to 3 just fine. Robert with a decent start here. The 15, Tyler, however, matching the speed of the number 3. Is he going to keep it onto his right rear quarter panel? More cars go to the outside. They shift back to the bottom, trying to dice them up, Dustin, to find that. Oh, we got a wreck in the backstretch. There was, I think, the 85 who had a blink issue, came back, and that's how they got turned. Or 92, I should say.
Yeah, 92. That's Tay McDonald there, and yeah, he was blinking on that restart, Jeremy, and that's tough because again, you don't know where that driver's going to come back at, and you don't know when the iRacing coding is, because you will clip through drivers that are blinking like that and having latency issues, but you don't know when that car is going to become solid all of a sudden, and it's tough. And it looks like there was just a little bit of a slow up when it was coming through, a little bit of contact there from the 85 behind him. So that's Raymond Hanneman right now. And oh, yep, it looked like it was a bump. It looked like it was a
That was a
that was
That was a
weird.
checkup.
Yeah.
There was a big checkup there. The 19 slowed down. The 92 sandwiched into him. That was Tay McDonald. Then the 85
Oh,
just
geez.
literally nowhere to go. Raymond felt like he got brake checked almost. And it just had nothing to do with it. Just a natural restart incident as they all check up on turn 2 exit.
Look at that. Do you see that net code there too? Like there's so much space right
Dustin
there.
loves this moment in time.
I
He
do.
loves
Look at
calling
this.
it
There's
out.
so much space in between those cars. And look at the net code.
The
We're
the
gonna
29 doesn't make any contact. The car doesn't even show it.
Nope.
And then the Tay McDonald says boop to the outside.
We're gonna go full speed here and see this checkup here. You're gonna see a big checkup right there, and it was a double bump. It was a double checkup there.
Yeah, he's got hit by the 85 and it re-shoved him back to the 19's back bumper. And it was just huge domino accordion effect all the way through the field. And if you've ever been in some of those situations, you know it's just nothing literally you can do.
Yeah, and that's the tough thing when it comes to this. That's something that at Daytona, Talladega, and now Atlanta, you have to worry about, Jeremy. You have to worry about the checkup. And these checkups, where they come from, is the speed and the suck up that these cars have. That draft pull will pull you up so fast, and then when the car in front of you has caught the car in front of them, they have to slow up. And if a driver is off key, even the slightest little bit, and they don't catch that car in front of them is checking up, or they don't pay attention to look far enough ahead to see that they have caught the drivers in front of them, they have to get on the binders and they have to slow up even more. And it's like you said, it's that accordion effect, and the driver behind them has to slow up even more. And eventually, you run out of drivers and you run out of space to check up like that, and contact is made.
Yeah, great analysis there. As we're going to have one to go next time around. Weezer8 on YouTube saying, good evening, everyone. Hoping for a good race tonight. Let's go to the number 8, Braxton DeWeese, the weekly participant on our YouTube chats, cheering on that number 8 car as always. From the Ice Cream Machine Ford Mustang. Currently running inside this top 10. Looking to have a decent night here tonight. And we haven't shouted them out there. On the top left-hand side of your screen, Whiplash Sim Cams. They brought an awesome camera package to this track tonight. Tons and tons of camera views. If you've never seen a camera pack for a race on iRacing, usually you think of paint schemes, you think of your content for cars and tracks and like that kind of thing, maybe design your helmet, but you never really think to upgrade the camera pack. And the camera pack from Whiplash Sim Cams, I'm scrolling, Dustin, there's probably, what, 30 camera angles to choose from? 30 plus? Long. Like, there is 9 TV cameras and then 3 TV towers, and there's another set of other cameras for TV angles, a few blimps. Like, there's just so much to do from this pack, and they have them for almost, if not every single oval on the iRacing service, and that's at Whiplash Sim Cams.
Yeah, beautiful camera angles. We appreciate working with Andrew over there at Whiplash Sim Cams. He does producer work for the real life stuff, man, and he brings that touch and that tenacity to the iRacing world, and helps us broadcasters and producers behind the scenes here on the digital side a whole lot. So much appreciation to Whiplash Sim Cams.
Pace car is going to be coming down any second. There it goes. 15, Tyler Bowling on the inside. Restarting P1, Robert Hottenbach, second place on the outside. And green flag for the third time here this evening as they launch off. Looks like a good set of gears there for these guys as they get to turn number 1. The inside is 3 cars deep, single file, as the 19 as well, trying to get clear. Looks like he will. So 4 cars now, Dustin, have lane choice coming off of turn number 2. 19 goes high to the outside of the number 85. That's going to be Peyton Holland and Raymond Hanneman here trying to battle it out for 4th.
Yeah, Peyton Holland was the first driver to pull out of that inside line to try to take that. Pulled right up in front of the 3 of Robert Hottenbach right now. We know that both of those drivers know how to get to the front. They've worked together, so it's good. The 6 is up there as well. Braxton DeWeese, 4th car in line on that top side. But Jeremy, right now, that momentum seems to be on that inside lane. Tyler Bowling now leading the 20 of Nate Lesko in the Cap and Crunch machine. I love the paint schemes that guy brings out each and every week. It's awesome, man. We've seen the Dunkaroos. We've seen Nesquik, Cap and Crunch. So it's I love seeing that. I'd still say the best one was last week's, the Nesquik throwback to the Alan Kowicki Hooters, or you could even say to the Biff throwback to Alan Kowicki. I mean, you can even do that as well. So love seeing those. But right now, that momentum, Jeremy, inside line.
Yeah, it is strong in numbers right here. Off of turn number 4 we go. 7 cars, single file, off corner exit. Robert Hottenbach really got switched back. So did the 19 and number 8. So Braxton DeWeese, Robert Hottenbach, and that 19, Peyton Holland. As you see, the 6 gets shifted to the outside. He gets big checked up there. And just like that, the inside is just complete in control of this race right now.
Yeah, and it didn't help when the 6 got shoved to the outside. The 19 took it wide. That's Peyton Holland, scuffed the wall a little bit, so that lost momentum. But at the same time, we had new drivers jump up to that high line. The 60 of Daryl Johnson in that number 60. I know you're going to like that, Jeremy. That's your number as well. That Reese's machine jumped to the high side trying to get something going. And right now, he's got the 12 of Dill Pickle behind him, and then the 6 of Al Likens. So they're going to try to get something going and try to get something organized on that top side. to come up here and battle the 15 of Bowling and the 20 of Lesko.
Yeah, Daryl Johnson doing it absolutely correct. My number 60, which has been my sim number on and off for the past 2+ decades. Definitely my favorite number of the bunch as we go 3 wide with Braxton DeWeese up in the middle. Robert gets pushed back once more. But yeah, that's my favorite candy with my favorite number in the sim world. So love to see that car as Braxton tries to maybe go 3 wide once more. Decides to go to the bottom as he gets a gap cleared for himself into turn number 3. As the 12 and 60 are still dusting. They are trying to do anything. And just like that, the 12 Dylan Picklesheimer had enough, goes to the inside. And I thought the outside was going to put more effort into this, Dustin. Is this just the newer aero package from the Gen 7 cars? Because they can't find anything up there right now.
Yeah, and it's surprising. Like I said, the organization on that top side is just not there. I mean, you take a look at this. You got all the drivers lined up on that inside. I don't know if they're just trying to get laps ticked off, as we're working lap 22 of scheduled 40 for stage 1. I don't know if they're just trying to get laps ticked off, just to try to get there, but there's just, the organization is not on that high side. Jeremy, in order to get this working, they're going to have to get more drivers on that high side to get organized, and they're going to have to try to utilize packing that air on those drivers to try to slow them up, to get the momentum more on that high side to try to lurch forward. The issue is right now, we've seen a number of drivers with cars that are tight. We've seen the 19 of Holland in the wall. We've seen the 3 of Hottenbach in the wall. They're starting to drift up. So those drivers on that second lane may not be comfortable getting close to those drivers on the inside lane, especially on corner entry and through the corner, to try to pack that air on there.
Here comes the outside lane. Dylan Picklesheimer's got the momentum as him and Daryl switch spots there, 12 leading the outside charge. And Daryl's got a much better pushing technique overall compared to Dylan, it seems like. These guys are setting off. Now they've gotten themselves to the top 5. Gonna try to quickly pass car number 94, Brandon Finley, as he just kind of stall out there on the front straightaway. Now they got a little more momentum here. As Eddie Baker a little bit further back, going to try to go 3 wide. He's going to push the issue, shoves the 21. Jeremiah Nelson to the outside. 3 wide mid-pack.
Yeah, 3 wide mid-pack, but Jeremy, this high line starting to get some stuff moving right now. You see the 60, big pushes there, off corner exit. That's a tricky spot to do it, but able to get something going. But again, they did lose the momentum. But if you take a look, if you watch the 12 of Dill Pickle right now, he drifts up on corner entry, but see, he's getting closer to that line, trying to pack that air a little bit, trying to slow down the 94 of Brandon Finley, last week's race winner. And that's what you need to do. You need to pack that air on there, because it literally draws him back, like put a big piece of plywood out there to try to slow everything up. And that's what's working right now, as they've worked their way up into the top 5, flirting and fighting with the 94 Finley.
Great battle here so far as they're trying to do anything they can to get past this 4th, 5th place region and try to work their way up and maybe dice it up with that 15, Mr. Tyler Bowling, who's led a handful of laps on this restart here, coming up to lap number 28, just 3 laps away from the 100 to go mark in this BK Designs 200 here. And Nate still just patiently, he knows the outside's not where to be. You're kind of stuck right now. Tyler's just leading a bunch of laps. Maybe you want to lead a lap, but if you make that pass, you're in for some trouble.
Yeah, and especially with that high line, that second groove right now, as they get ready to go 3 wide. That's the 5 of Bill Hagan right now, getting ready to just go on a lap down. And this is a tricky spot, because Bill's got to hug that wall to give these drivers as much room, and that's why it's tricky. Right there, as you see contact between Bill Hagan and the wall, as he's trying to give him room. But that quad oval on that front stretch, Jeremy, is so hard to keep those cars down, because there's almost no banking up there. It's a pretty tight corner there, and you don't just have one, you have 2 for both of the dog legs there, and it's flat. And those cars just they have a hard time at high speeds sticking it low. That's why you'll see them drift up through this section of the track.
I think I'm starting to see some of that mid-run tire wear around this place. I'm watching a couple of the cars on the bottom. Maybe the 29 at worst, David Mayberry, turned 3 last time. He slid up quite a bit, checked up, and then cause a little bit of spacing there on the inside lane. As you're going to see him once more, he's going to do it again. Just can't really hit that mark getting into turn 3 entry. And as I'm watching the 12, Dylan Picklesheimer lead the outside charge, he's now cracking the top 3 as he is closing the gap here to the 15.
Yeah, and that's what we talked about in the Countdown to Green presented by Icon Apparel Company, Jeremy, was that tire where this is not a Daytona Talladega. So you have to maintain that, and believe it or not, you do have to lift the throttle on corner entry on these Gen 7s and even the trucks on longer runs. You have to lift that throttle to let that front nose set. You can't go in balls to the wall like that, because that's what's going to happen. You're going to have that drift effect, and it's going to drift up. And one of those times, it's going to drift up into another car, and it's going to cause chaos.
Yep, it certainly can. It almost did with the 29 there a couple laps ago, but so far I don't see any contact to be had from the inside to the outside as the handling starts to creep away from some of these drivers in this field. The inside kind of figured it out, Dustin. They're lifting a little bit more. The 12 of Dylan's now dropped off. He's now 4th place, or actually 5th place as they cross the line. 85, Raymond Hanneman gets back into P4. And there's sort of a lot more cars on the inside lane than what they do on the outside. So overall, still inside has it, but at what point does the tire wear mellow out and give Dylan that advantage?
Yeah, and that's something that we're going to be finding out in real time, Jeremy. You know, when that's going to be with these Gen 7s. You know, they've gone through a number of updates as well. So it's hard to tell. You know, we don't know how hard these drivers are doing it. You see the 12 of Dill Pickle get a little squirrely there. 85 of Hanneman decides he wants to try his mark on that. He goes to the outside of the 48 Austin Wheeler side-by-side drag races. Bowling and Lesko still lead this pack nose to tail. Now you see the 48 try to go up. He's going to try that high side. That's going to open it up for the 94 of Brandon Finley. But he, again, changes that mind and comes right back down. Jeremy, it just does not seem like it's on that high side. Quick move there by Dill Pickle from top side to low side.
3 wide, Eddie Baker up the middle there. Jeremiah Nelson gets pushed to the outside. He's going to go from the outside to the inside. Cuts off Natasha Bedoin as they go through turn number 3 this time. The inside is starting to pull away again. The outside's completely broken up here as the 85 Hanneman now leads the charge on the outside in that DeWalt Ford Mustang as they're coming across Raymond Bell in the car number 26 from one of the first wrecks this evening. He's going to let the whole field by. Oh, contact between the 84 and the 26. A little tight there off of turn 2.
Yeah, and that's that tire issue that we were talking about, Jeremy. It as the run continues on at these higher speeds, at this 1.5 mile configuration, it gets tougher and tougher to keep those cars down low like that, and that's what the drivers are struggling with. And again, that's preventing a lot of these drivers from really packing the air the way that they need to. You see the 85 of Hanneman and Dill Pickle there. You see Hanneman packing the air on there, trying to slow him down. That's what drivers are going to need to do to try to slow it down. And if it's done right, you will see distance between the driver that they're packing air on and the driver in front of them. It is. It's like putting a piece of plywood up. It's crazy how aero dependent these cars are and how much one driver can affect another driver's performance just by packing air on their left rear, on their right rear, just by side drafting. It's crazy.
Oh, rack 60 Daryl in the back infield wall, staying green flag, 1 car down. Everybody else still maintains as pit road is closed as we got 2 laps to go for the stage break that you mentioned earlier that happens on lap number 40. But the number 60 turned out of it. It looks like Eddie Baker there in the 84 from the outside makes the contact.
Yep.
And just not a terrible amount of damage, but he's got some.
Yeah, he's got some. And again, that's why it's tough. And you go to a drafting track, that's why they usually say bumping in the corners, not recommended. Not saying it can't be done, but it's not recommended for that reason right there. Jeremy, you and I have done it at the corners before, but you and I have got how many hundreds of hours drafting at tracks and bumping through the corner and racing with each other to know each other's tendencies like that we can comfortably do it. Now, if I wouldn't be comfortable going out and doing it with a number of these drivers because I don't know their tendencies. I haven't raced with them enough. It's a very touchy situation And look at the movement and the bobbing, Jeremy, on that bottom lane as they go down that straightaway.
Yeah, a lot of movement there through the whole entire field. Tire wear is setting in heavy here, but does not matter. We're coming to the line of lap number 40 to close it out. We got a wreck to close out stage.
Oh, this is going to hurt. Oh!
Yeah, heavy contact. Ford Mustang number 2 smashing the wall here. Not good if you're a Ford Mustang driver at Echo Park here. That was contact primarily with the number 12 of Dylan Picklesheimer's 3 Fords get together. As the 29 as well was the other driver involved, that red, white, and blue car from David Mayberry.
And you see the 85 drifts up. The 12 stays in it there and just scuffs the bumper of the 85. Hanneman down into the 29 of Mayberry. And this is where it gets crazy. It looks like the 29, I think, might have made it out all right. He's going to sit here. Yeah, he's going to dirt slide it. He's going to be good. But this one right here, this is the one that hurts, Jeremy, right here. I mean, he's just bouncing and weaving. Heavy rear end contact, side and left front nose, Jeremy. And this track is aero dependent. So any damage on that bodywork can drastically change that car.
No safer barrier there on the pit road wall. Smashes the left rear, then right or left front after that. That's a double whammy. I'd rather have pancaked the thing, but pit road is open. That means we are going picture in picture for the first time tonight, and we'll be right back to talk to stage winner Tyler Bowling here shortly. Back to full screen here. Pit road is completed for all these drivers as they're exiting right now, and give us just a little bit of time to maybe talk to the number 15 Tyler Bowling, sitting in his channel Intentional Wreck Podcast. And we're going to try to bring him in right now. As Tyler, this is Jeremy and Dustin in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, copy.
Stage 1 winner, man. How's it feel out there?
I mean, it felt great to get a stage win, first one of the year, and hopefully try to get some points back that I feel like I've lost over the season. But yeah, it's been pretty calm so far. So I know it's gonna change here in a little bit.
What's the feeling out there right now? The opening start of the race, the inside and outside were pretty equal, and I thought we were gonna have a classic 2x2 all the way through. But then after that third start of the race, the second restart, the inside just had so much more extra speed. Was that just drivers taking it easy, or was that just was that something else going on there?
Yeah, definitely drivers taking it easy. And I also had a teammate behind me, and he was pretty committed to staying behind me. So that definitely influenced that inside line and keeping momentum up for us.
All right, very good, man. Half a lap left. Go back and go get them, and maybe we'll talk to you here later this evening.
All right, sounds good. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. All right, there we go. Tyler Bowling of the 15. Appreciate his time being in Discord, talking with us on this caution break, a.k.a. stage break. And now The top 5 for this restart does have Christian Macarelli in Macarelli? Yeah, he's up there, but we're gonna hold it actually. One more to go. Back it down. We got one extra lap. Yeah, because Christian technically, Dustin, had the point, but then he's currently not in session. He dropped out due to a packet loss just now. So now it's going to recycle Tyler Bowling, Nate Lesko, Austin Wheeler, Brandon Finley, and Peyton Holland as your top 5. But it's going to change up the grid here just a touch as the leader has fallen out.
Yeah, and again, that's our version of mechanical failure, 100%. I mean, we don't sit here and have an ignition box go out or anything else. We have packet loss. That's what we have as sim racers, and it sucks, when that happens. Because, like I said, I mean, Marcelli put himself in a good position there to be leading right after the end of stage 1 there, and due to technical issues, now your top 5 is Lesko, Bowling, Finley, Wheeler, and Picklesheimer right now. So it's tough. And Jeremy, he's going to come back a number of laps down because it takes time to reconnect back to the server, load the sim back up, and come back in. He's going to be probably 3 laps down at best when he comes back in. So it's tough. But Jeremy, we're working lap 45 right now of 130. We still have a good amount of racing to go. So far, the racing I've seen has been pretty solid. You know, the issues that we have seen, I would pin more so on that tire wear that we had touched base on the Countdown to Green presented by Icon Apparel Company. The drive-in that we're seeing this week, hands down, much better than what we seen last week with the 22 caution. So drivers definitely taking it easy. You heard it from Tyler Bowling. Drivers were taking it easy on that stage 1. So let's see if we can't continue that momentum and have an excellent race.
Or for Dustin that drives a Ford Flex, you have coil packet loss.
Hey, too soon. Too soon.
As we go back to green flag for the 4th time here. This was due to the stage break, not an actual caution on the track. There was a wreck, but it was all in the infield, and it shouldn't have brought out a caution regardless. But going back to green flag, Dustin, the top 6 quickly go single file right to the bottom, just like that. The outside has nothing as far as driver count. That got really kind of crazy quickly, but Nate Lesko, he's going to change that quick. Tyler Bowling recognizes the momentum shift there, dropped off the back of the 48. Nate Lesko goes to 2nd place. Maybe go to the outside, inside. He has lane choice, and he's going to swerve at the last second. Takes off too much speed with that swerve to the outside. The 94 almost gets clipped by Eddie Baker, and the 84 here is off on the back straightaway just like that. The outside numbers are right there.
Yeah, I don't know if it was clipped or not. I think the 94 of Finley had that tunnel vision. He was going to follow the 15 of Bowling and the 20 of Lesko down as they made that quick cut, and quickly realized the 48 of Austin Wheeler was down there and went, nope, not going to happen. But right now, Austin Wheeler trying to lead that inside with Dill Pickle also, in the 19 of Peyton Holland trying to get something going. And now that top side losing that momentum. Tyler Bowling now falling back. Nate Lesko falling back, and the race lead currently held by the 48 Austin Wheeler.
Excellent stuff here. Austin been running really strong all season long. 3rd in points, 29 outside the points lead from Nate Lesko. That car, number 20, who has been up at the front all night long here. 3 wide with Braxton DeWeese up the middle. Eddie Baker on the outside. Robert Hottenbach clears that. He goes back to 2 wide there as a 6. Follows in Al Likens. Still 3 wide. Now here comes the 32. The top 2 cars on that line, Dustin, just tanking.
Yeah, and that's not what you want to see. As I hear the weather outside over Nerd headquarters, not good. So just for the record, if we do happen to go off air, it is not technical difficulties. It is Mother Nature difficulties, something that we in the sim world and the sim broadcasting world have to deal with as well. Dill Pickle switches from low side to high side, jumps up in front of Tyler Bowling, and Peyton Holland jumps down to the bottom, now pushing the 48. Jeremy, it doesn't seem like that high side can get the momentum going. As it sits early in this race of the BK Designs 200, it seems like the power and the momentum is on that low side as the 48 of Wheeler and the 19 of Holland out to a good lead right now. Side by side, Chris Cash, Dill Pickle for 3rd.
Still side by side down the back straightaway here to start off lap 51. A little closing up there on the outside there through the back stretch to turn number 3 might allow them to gain over. And Dylan's actually going to squeeze the gap between the 99 and the 69 there. That's sitting in P3 and P5 at that time. Christopher Cash in front, Dylan Ellis, and the 99 now sits behind the 12 of Picklesheimer there. Is Tyler Bowling now is going to rely on Nate Lesko to, nope, never mind, that's going to be a fake news there. As they're riding on the roof camera from the rear view shot from Dylan as he goes to the inside of Chris Cash, puts himself back to P3.
Yeah, back to P3 as we go boozy drone cam. Haven't broke this out for a while, Jeremy, but we are going through a number of these cars right now, taking a look to see what's going on. You see your front 4 spaced out. Actually, your front 3 is Chris Cash trying to chase down and close that gap up to Dylan Picklesheimer right now. You got Peyton Holland in the 19 and second, the 48 of Austin Wheeler leading the way, and look at the sparks fly from these things just bottoming out as we cruise down that front stretch.
Absolutely cruising. Single file formation here on lap 54. Every single driver, top 15, almost top 20, it feels like. Just cruising on that double white line. Caution as we go single file. We get a wreck in the back, Dustin. It's going to involve the 01 Kevin Bullock, the 26 Raymond Bell. For the second wreck, the number 26 gets himself involved in. And this actually will be starting all the way back to the front half of the front stretch as Raymond Bell just lost his grip on the front tire somehow.
Yeah, went through that first kink on the front stretch, and oh man, Brandon Biddy just followed him right through. Hard impact, and then you can see just loses it. It bounces off the wall, gets loose, comes straight down into the 0-1, sends both drivers, that's the 0-1 to Kevin Bullock, sends both drivers down. Mitch Diamond just barely missing it. Man, what a that was a hard hit by both Brandon Biddy and Raymond Bell. And then more contact between the two of them as they're trying to get everything collected back up. And that's what sends the 26 up the track. And, oh, Jeremy, that is potentially race-ending damage right there from the 26. And hard impact, not as hard as Raymond Bell, but hard impact for the 0-1 of Kevin Bullock as well. So tough break for both drivers.
Yeah, heavy crash there for the third wreck this evening. Fourth caution overall lap 55, a scheduled 130. We're going to get our shout outs out of the way for the Smoky Mountain Sim Racing sponsors here tonight. First and foremost, the race sponsor, BK Design, specializes in high quality custom iRacing paints for just $25, $15 redos. So if you're looking for a sleek, professional look or a bold, eye-catching design, look no further than BK Designs. Find them on Facebook. Wheeler's Painting. That's Wheeler's Painting and More. Turning houses into homes. Find them on Facebook. And then Whitehead Auto Detailing. Making sure your vehicle feels as good as new to you. Also, find them on Facebook for more information. As we're on the back straightaway here, getting the one lap to go signal next time around, as a lot of drivers still sitting on pit road. We have about 6 cars, Dustin, just chilling, getting some damage repaired, getting whatever they got to do on pit road. You see Braxton DeWeese, maybe that was a hold. I'm not sure who would have got damaged from. The 18, see the back end, Bryce Hedgecock, rear end damage, somehow got involved in something. I did not see where he got that damage.
Yeah, I didn't either. Obviously, we know Brandon Biddy on there, Kevin Bullock on there. Number of drivers that are currently still on pit road. And Jeremy, this is something that we never pulled up, and I said that we were going to. Presented by AIG, we have our patch up report. And right now, look at that list from 4 minutes all the way down to 3 seconds by Dave and Mayberry. But Daryl Johnson in that 60. 4 minutes, 10 seconds. Bill Hagan, he was involved in that early wreck. And right now, Brandon Biddy on there, 2 minutes and 45. Now Brandon Biddy up to 3:42 as it updates. Bryce Hedgecock on there. We just talked about the rear end damage. He had 2.5 minutes. So And Jeremy, these are big numbers when it comes to a track like Atlanta, because much like Daytona and Talladega, aero is so important. So if you're having damage like that, that's taking that amount of time, that car is gonna handle like a dump truck on this track.
Yeah, we don't want dump trucks out here. It is hard enough when you're 20 laps in on the inside, and we saw some drivers with some ill handling situations already. And then if you put a waste management sticker on it, you just not going to be a good time out here. As we're going to be restarting this race on lap 58 for our 5th start overall. As we're going to file in your top 5 this time around: Austin Wheeler, Peyton Holland, Dylan Picklesheimer, Christopher Cash, who recently has found himself in this top 5 from 20th to 4th. And then that 3-car Robert Hottenbach, who has been very strong for the most part this evening, rounds out the top 5 on the grid here.
Yeah, and you want to
Pace
talk
cars
about
gonna-
gains. There's your gains, Jeremy.
Yeah, nice visuals throughout this whole entire layout. He's got so many different Easter eggs. Just saying that because it's, the time of season for that. But a lot of green in this top half, and as you cycle to the back, a lot more red. And that's where you don't want to be, as green flag is back out the 12 and the 48. Out of a cannon. Gets a 3-car length advantage over the 3-car Robert Hottenbach. Top 5, top 6 goes single file. The Christopher Cash 69 is going to drop back, allows the 94 Brandon Finley to pass him quickly.
Yeah, biggest one on that one there that lost the most spots is the 69 Christopher Cash. Chris, man, just again, that high side did not take off, and he had no chance to get to that inside contact between Hottenbach and Bowling. Hottenbach got kind of pushed up to that high side there. Now he's going to get freight train on that top side. Jeremy, this is not...
we got a wreck. Nate Lesko going around, 3-car wreck. Got Natasha Bedoin, Eddie Baker involved in this one for the 6th caution here this evening. And this was somebody, I didn't see who initially, turned to the number 20 and Nate Lesko, your points leader, into turn number 1. We got Dana Ryan, who's made one contact already like this tonight. Oh, Dana Ryan with a double tap. He's doing that from the movie Zombieland. Double tap to finish him off. He drives off into the sunset. Eddie Baker, Natasha Bedoin, Nate Lesko, however, not playing that part.
Yeah, and the first contact made, so the first contact by Dana Ryan, this one right here was okay, but this one right here, that double tap a little further back, just took the weight right off of the 20. Natasha Bedoin, nowhere to go on that one there. Eddie Baker, nowhere to go. It just washed right up the track, collected both of those drivers. Tough break for those drivers on that one there. And Jeremy, that's the name of the game when it comes to this track here. And it seems like, especially in these Gen 7s and even in the trucks, because they handle and drive very similar, that's the struggle that drivers have, is keeping those things planted and locked to that low side like that to prevent drifting up into that next lane.
Yeah, it almost seems like the one of Dana Ryan who gets tagged for the that incident there on lap 59. He was also tagged for the lap 8 incident, the first one to set off this evening. So that should be an EOL, or a pass-through rather, on the 2nd caution from the number 1. But I almost feel like, Dustin, that was more of... Could you say it was aero wash? He was so close off that first contact, going into the corner at high speeds. Like, I know you lose some of the air on the nose of your car, and if the car's tight already, that could have been partly why you saw that contact.
Yeah, and it very well could have been. He was already drifting up. I mean, the first contact, I think, was just from the way that, the one entered the corner. But after that first contact, he started pulling it down. I mean, it very well could have been an aero wash there. These things are very aero dependent. You packing that air on that nose like that, and it loses all front nose grip like that, and that could have been where that second tap came in that ultimately send the 20 around.
Yeah, very much so there. The number 1 going back as he's coming off that there. And we see still a bunch of cars on pit road. Nate Lesko, of course, part of that latest wreck. He's on pit road. Raymond Hanneman there in the 85 with a massive amount of damage from the stage 1 wreck. Bryce Hedgecock still on pit road. Brandon Biddy, the number 2, 16, Natasha Bedoin, and 84 to Eddie Baker. Those two also part of that last wreck. And the 0-1 Kevin Bullock from 2 wrecks ago, also on pit road with a lot of front damage. See the front right pretty beat up overall with that Chevrolet. So patch up report is an ongoing list. And as we learned last Thursday, Dustin, that has a 20-car limit on what it shows. And we are well ahead of approaching that. Hopefully we don't get there, but it's looking like it's not good so far, as we got about 10 drivers on it right now.
Yeah, and it's tough because at a track like this, Jeremy, you and I have done enough racing. As you see, it just extended one more on that one. When you get damage like that and affects the handling of your car or how your car performs, it's like trying to ice skate uphill. It almost seems like it's a never-ending battle. And then you find yourself further back in the field in situations that you probably don't want to be in with an ill-handling car due to damage. And it seems like it just keeps adding on and adding on. And it is a very mental mind beat for drivers that are trying to get past that. And it's tough. You know, I feel for the drivers, especially like, you know, Natasha Bedouin, who had nowhere to go on that one. Eddie Baker, who had nowhere to go on that one. You know, Nate Lesko, who, you know, went into the corner, and next thing he knows, he was around.
And there's a little confusion here. Not sure what that was. You see the green flag on the UI. Something triggered the back straightaway coding to say green flag. The spotters heard it. The drivers heard it. They all reacted.
I'm scratching my head on that one too.
The pace car
is gone.
Not even there. I've never seen the pace car disappear, Dustin.
I haven't either. That is a first in all of the calls that we've been making. I've never seen that.
He just zipped the pit road like it was nothing. But they're going to hold it steady in the restart box. A manual green flag restart here is somehow down the back straightaway. The pace car goes from backstretch to pit stall.
That was wild. I have never seen that happen in any iRacing event, to especially a league event, to have it trigger a green flag down the backstretch and then have the pace car just disappear. That was nuts.
Yeah, it's...
Flag that one and send that one to iRacing.
Yeah, how do you fix that code? I don't know. We'll leave it up to them, but the 48 going to take the race lead, going to bring the 19 with them. Peyton Holland to P2 momentarily as Tyler Bowling in 4th place, trying to push Dylan Pickle, Simon Rotten, Hottenbach. A lot of these guys are just been up here all night long. Does not matter. Inside, outside lane, they just know how to get it done. Some of these guys mid-pack, they're starting to figure it out. We've had some of the fast drivers now crash. And so there's some more opportunities to be had for the guys who maybe need a little assistance on moving a little bit further through this field. What you got here?
I am confused. So the 48 and the 19, they had control of this race, elected to go to the high side that we have seen has not performed all race long, Jeremy. In 65 laps, we have not seen that high line perform. And Austin Wheeler and the 19 of Peyton Holland just gave up the race lead to the dominant line being the inside line. And now Dill Pickle is now in control of this race as we have another iRacing iFlag caution.
Yep, number 7 here of the night. And this time it's going to be back there in turn 3. There's at least one car slow. 92, Tay McDonald. Yeah, this is going to be a massive checkup, Dustin. The 92 is the one who gets wrecked, but watch the checkup here. The 65, 27, the 60. Daryl just barrels in there. Barrel Daryl is what you want to call him for that one. But yeah, this started probably 5th car in line or such, and it just accordioned once more.
Yeah, what happened? That almost looked like, was that around Chris Cash?
I'm looking. I'm checking. Chris Cash seems to be fine. Actually, it might have been a little bit further back. The 65, Mitch Diamond. He's gonna.
Yeah, well, I just seen. I know Mayberry was there and Chris Cash was there. It doesn't look like they checked up.
No, it was a reaction from the 29, I think. David Mayberry. I think you're right on that. David Mayberry. To me, this looks like it.
Okay,
a little slow down from the 69.
Yep, a little
I guess.
slow down, and then the 29 reacted. Mitch Diamond had to react, and then behind him,
huge reaction.
Yep, huge check on that one there. So Yeah, man. Why was there such a huge checkup there?
Yeah, the Twisted Speed race telemetry has Mitch Diamond going from 180. Check this out. When you get to turn 3, he's at 192 miles an hour right here. Now at this point on your screen, he's 176 miles an hour. He drops almost 20 mile an
Miles an
hour.
hour. And then the
And that's
27 is
why,
Steve Harden trying to check up and does, but the 92 just does not have enough time to check up. And that's Tay McDonald. And then, of course, behind him, the 60 just does not have, that's Daryl Johnson, does not have enough time to check up either. So that's that accordion effect. You know, the first few were able to sit here and check up and do it in enough time, but the further you go back, the harder it is.
yeah, that's tough there. Just a quick reaction from a couple of drivers equaled devastation in the back as Tay McDonald, 92, gets the worst of that one. As we are just a lap or two away from going back to green flag once more. Car
Hopefully
12,
in the right
Dylan.
spot this time.
Yeah, please and thank you. That'd be. And let's watch this pace car. Remember, he had some issues that last caution cycle. We'll see what happens here. 1 to go. All right, I'm just curious. Do we repeat this pace car anomaly that no one's ever seen ever? As top 5, as I've been trying to record that every single start. Dylan Picklesheimer, Tyler Bowling, Robert Hottenbach, Austin Wheeler, Brandon Finley, who's up from 19th to 5th. Great move, great driving from the 94 to put himself P5.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, a lot of this, Jeremy, is just finding the momentum, making the right calls to be in position, because this track can be tougher to pass at, especially with how ill handling and ill performing we have seen that top side, Jeremy. And I'm shocked and surprised because in all the races in my leagues that I ran last season at this track, the high side definitely seemed like it was more competitive. And now it just, I don't know if they're just not getting collected there. They're not getting organized, what the case is, if they don't have the right person leading, the right person pushing. But we have not seen that second lane really perform at all night. It has been a bottom-feeding race right now here at Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Yeah, very much has been, and Tyler did say that they're just taking it easy, but I don't know. The way this race is playing out, I think there's more to it, personally, than just taking it easy. But green flag back out, the 12, great launch over the 15 and everybody else through the whole entire field, really. As Robert's going to try to take second place off of turn number 1, does so, has lane choice. Brandon Finley cracks his nose into the 3rd place position as Austin Wheeler's all over the back bumper of Tyler, Chevy to Chevy on the outside lane, trying to get something going. Robert shoots his way up the gap here. He's going to go to the outside as we got on board Austin Wheeler with the Twisted Speed setup in car telemetry.
Yeah, and this is, again, that was a good move. He had that draft pull. He's seen the momentum. Now watch him drop to the bottom just like that. Excellent move. Secure that inside line. 3 of Robert Hottenbach back to the point after he led early on in this race. And now you got Tyler Bowling trying to get something going on that high side. You see he's packing that air on the 12. Real close side draft. That's what you got to do to try to slow him down. Allows Austin Wheeler to close back up to try to do it. But look at the 2-car tandem of the 3 and the 12 pushing out front as you see the 94 Brandon Finley following suit.
I think we have this queued up for the first time this year. We are going to go Turn Up the Tunes, presented by Butt Kicker here. Listen to these cars go around Echo Park Speedway. We'll be back here shortly. Points leader Nate Lesko involved in the 7th caution here this evening. As we're going to go back to the Nerd TV replay to take a look here. Big wreck here from 4th place. It's the 3 of Robert Hottenbach to the outside of the 20 Nate Lesko. And we'll see if we can get a couple angles of this one. But I think Nate just made a mental error, slid up the track just a touch across the left front fender of Robert, and we sent this one off.
Oh, man.
Yeah, we're going to have to see a VHS rewind here. Watch the spacing between the white line and Nate. There's no contact, no contact. He slides up the track, now finds the contact. Yeah, I don't think Robert expected Nate to make that move. Taking a look at it here. See how close we can catch it here. There's the onboard of the 3. Yeah, Robert's holding his lane nice and steady. Nate just comes up.
Well, and
Finds the left front.
it looked like that might have been a little tunnel vision too, because it looked like Nate might have been following the 32 of Nick Biddy, and just drifted up just ever so slightly as he's running. So we're gonna sit here and watch this here. See Nick drift up. And then it almost looks like because Nick comes back down. I don't know, maybe he's trying just to get in line with Nick there and didn't realize how close it was. I mean, it's possible, but I mean, the 20 definitely drifted up. I mean, the 3 of Hottenbach was definitely holding his line. Left tire's right there on that white dash line.
Yeah, you got a solid point there. The 32 did bounce back up the track just a touch right before contact. So I think Nate was just trying to keep his car squared with the vehicles in front of him, and then tunnel visioned into the, because that's very unlikely, or very unlike Nate Lesko to make that kind of move. He's got to know that Robert's there. The spotter's telling him in game, especially if you're running the virtual spotter, that's now part of the iRacing service for free. You got things telling you car high, and so I'm sure he knew he was there. But I just got word that Dana Ryan, car number 1, DQ'd for too many incident points possibly, so number 1 is currently out of the race. So that's going to be a DNF, which is going to be, I think, our 4th car listed in that category tonight.
Yeah, tough break. That Smoky Mountain Sim Racing does run an incident limit on that. Now, it is in line with iRacing official, because this has been talked a number of times. It is in line with iRacing official settings of 24 incident points. Now, for those people that iRace, you're like, no, it's 17 points. You're correct. It's 17 points for a black flag, 24 points for a DQ. That's what Smoky Mountain Sim Racing is elected to do, as well as follow that, because that's what we're all accustomed to. That's what we're used to, is 24 points on a DQ. So tough break for driver of the number 1, Dana Ryan.
As we are a lap and a half away, actually 1 lap from our green flag. We're going to take our moment to thank another partner here from the Nerditude side of things, Brez Coffee Co. Staying alert and responsive is key in any situation, and Brez Coffee Co. delivers with amazing flavors to cater all the coffeeaholics out there. Brez Coffee Co. brings all this amazing flavors you crave at an amazing price. Home of the official Nerditudes flavor, sugary sweet joysticks. Stop by brezcoffeeco.com and grab the official Nerditudes brand flavor or any of their amazing flavors offer today. And how are you going to find ours? Well, you just search Nerd. That's all you got to do. 2 of them pop up. You're going to recognize the green logo that we've been running for close to a decade at this point. There it is up in the upper left-hand corner of the screen as well. That'll be your cue. That's brezcoffeeco.com. Super Nerd at checkout will save you your 10%. And we are going back to green flag racing. Dylan Picklesheimer at the point. Brandon Finley second. Jeremiah Nelson. Brandon Biddy. Braxton DeWeese is your top 5. Green flag back in the air once more.
Yeah, good start from that top lane there. You see the 12 of Dylan Picklesheimer. Dill Pickle, good start. 21 of Jeremiah Nelson follows him through. Brandon Finley able to maintain on that bottom side. That is your top 3. And then it goes Nick Biddy and Braxton DeWeese cracking the top 5 tonight.
there trying to get themselves into a good spot early as they go single file, where it just is forever a thing where the outside just can get a little glimpse here and there of maybe having some momentum, but then overall the inside is just the way to go. Even though the tire wear is better on the top, it is confidently set. I think this mindset, this race, your car needs to be good on the bottom. And there's a wreck in the back again. The car number 29 gets hooked. That's going to be David Mayberry. He's going to find, I think, Chris Cash on the outside there in a 3-wide situation. And it might have been Chris Cash who pinched David Mayberry off corner exit.
Yeah, right now we see the replay here, and Chris Cash up on the top, Mayberry in the center, and oh man, we're gonna have to try to get another angle at that one, Jeremy. That one's tough. I can't tell if there was movement from the 69 down, the 29 up, or both coming through that corner.
Yeah, it's super hard to tell from this angle in particular. This is a little bit better. Slow motion. You see the 69 coming down, impeding the 29's lane.
And the 29's left tires the 29's left tires was on the white line, starting to go down below. Yeah, it looks like the 69 might have drifted down there, trying to make that corner, not to drift up into the turn exit wall there, and just got too close.
Yeah, there's that wreck there, and then on that restart that we just had, the 84, Eddie Baker tagged for crossing lanes before the green flag, passing multiple cars, so he's going to go EOL. Car number 84 to the back of the field on this restart, and you're going to see it here. Dustin's got it queued up. Watch this, right in front of Natasha Bedoin. Green flag is going to fly about now, and then this is a no-no. You can't cross lanes. And you can't pass people like this, just clear as day.
Wow.
Says, goodbye, guys, I'm gone.
And I don't know if that was because of the checkup and he was trying to, I guess, avoid that. But, yeah, I mean, Smoky Mountain Sim Racing is very animate about that rule. You do not change lanes unless you are, again, averting yourself away from a wreck or anything else. You're allowed to change lanes, but they are pretty solid on that ruling, and that penalty has been issued to a number of drivers already this season. So hats off to Race Control on seeing that and sticking to it. I mean, that's why every league's got rules, Jeremy. I mean, they do that to try to keep the competition close, try to keep it clean, and try to avoid unnecessary situations from taking place.
100% there. They will review it after this race is said and done. They did verbalize that to Eddie Baker. He's pleading his case, and we'll find out next week if that does have any implications or not. As 69, Christopher Cash given the EOL penalty for causing the wreck. He was deemed at fault. And listening to Race Control here now. They're talking about single file possibly. I don't know. We'll see when the pace car lights go 1 to go. If we remain single file here. Gonna wait here. It's when they cross the line though. Looks like Jeremy, the top guys are going 2 by 2, Dustin.
I've been told as well, and this is on me as a producer. You need to get a better producer. We have been told that we can pull the 48 of Austin Wheeler and the 69 of Chris Cashin as in-race reporters at any time. They don't care. I do believe Chris Cash's exact words were you could pull him in at any time because any break from Austin Wheeler is much appreciated. His words, not mine.
Well, with just under 50 to go here as we're past the 1 hour mark on the broadcast, we're going to take full advantage of that. So next caution, I would like to talk to one of those guys. Yeah. Chris is awesome when it comes to off-track conversation. And he's just full of laughter and a good time. And we don't get to talk too much to Austin Wheeler, at least I don't think. So we'll see what happens. Maybe we'll talk to both of these guys before this thing's all said and done. Half a lap left. We are 2 wide here. We talked about single file. Not going to be a thing this time. And turn 2, Dustin, seems to be that coffin corner here this evening.
Yeah, and we always talk about that. Every track seems to have one. And for everybody out there watching, a coffin corner, and you can have multiple ones, are usually the corners the drivers as a whole are having the most struggles with, the most trouble. That's where the most issues arise from. And I agree, Jeremy. It looks like turn 2 just seems to be that corner tonight amongst a number of different drivers tonight.
Pace car down, throttles at the ready. Green flag for the ninth time. This race is out and flying. Brandon Finley tags the back bumper of the 21. Jeremiah Nelson getting a little assistance as Jeremiah is slow to get into the throttle. A little bit of sleepy there as they still. Oh, Braxton DeWeese, massive checkup. He's already on the apron in turn 1 and turn 2. A lot of spacing here. That was a bad restart for a multiple amount of drivers. The 21 got caught sleeping, but everybody else got caught sleeping even more.
Yeah, and the 32 of Nick Biddy actually had a decent amount of tire spin on that restart as well. That's why that top lane didn't really get moving as fast as what they probably would have liked, and that's what allowed the 21 of Jeremiah Nelson and 94 Brandon Finley to get to the back bumper of the 12 of Dill Pickle right now. So, I mean, that's something that we've talked about time and time again, Jeremy, on these restarts. That's old tires and fresh tires. You gotta be cognizant of that tire spin or potential tire spin. Sometimes you got to be easy on the throttle. Last week, we've seen it happen a number of times because of the gears that drivers were electing to start in. They were electing to start in first gear to try to get that little bit of bump. And what that causes is in first gear, they get that burst of acceleration, but they have to quickly hit the second gear and tire spin happen there. So we see it in a multitude of different ways.
Yeah, we really do here. Single file through the whole entire field. Lap 85 about to come to completion as Dylan Picklesheimer still leading the field. At first, it was all Robert Hottenbach, then became Tyler Bowling, who won the stage break, picked up some extra points for that. And now at this point in the race, just past the halfway mark, 2/3, Dylan, car 12, just being that guy, leading the field for the majority of the past 20-plus laps. And Dustin, this is quite bizarre. How many times we've seen just the single file break out here with the outside really just... I don't think at this point it's safe racing. I think they just can't find momentum with this newer draft package that the Gen 7 cars bring.
Yeah, and I will say that, Tyler did say that drivers were taking it easy. Jeremy. I will say that what we're seeing on screen right now, I will agree with that for that first 5. Look at the spacing between those cars. They're not pushing the issue or anything else. You don't see anything until right up here, that battle for 6th. Right now between the 92 of Kay McDonald, 19 of Peyton Holland, and 48 of Austin Wheeler, all right there. But just like that, now you're just down to 2 cars on that high side right now. Everybody else is on that low side, Jeremy, and there's a lot of space in between. You're talking about a car length and a half to a full car length in between many of these drivers.
100% here as we are watching one car letting everybody else by. A lot of single file. We're going picture-in-picture commercial break here. Hopefully we can get a good cycle of our partners out of the way this time around. We will be right back.
Hey, can you do me a favor? I'm really hungry, but I'm trapped in here, and I dropped my last piece of boozy jerky on the floor. I can't reach it. Would you mind grabbing me a bag of the most tender, flavorful booze-infused jerky on the planet? I promise I'll pay you back. I mean, I'd eat my piece, but I can't reach it. Oh, actually, I got it. Oh, it's so good. It's so tender, so flavorful. You should really pick yourself up a bag. But if you do, you can't eat it in here. Now, this is my spot. I own this spot. Boozy Jerky, the original booze-infused beef jerky with a pair. Now available.
Chevyland's hitting the... Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Back to full screen here, and for the first time in a few weeks, we got green flag pit stops. There's about 6 drivers in our pit road, 5 or 6 this time, including your race leaders. Jeremiah Nelson, Dylan Pickle, Simer, Brandon Finley, Nick Biddy coming down to service their cars. As Dustin, we have been single file for the past 20-odd some laps. And this is it. This is the money stop here this evening.
Yeah, this right here at 30 laps to go, this is the last stop these drivers will have to make unless there's a late race flapping yellow thing. And they may come down for some fresh simulated Goodyear rubbers on those tires. But, Jeremy, this is it. And it's, you've seen those drivers dive down the backstretch. They have to enter pit lane in turn 3 and take it all the way around to pit road entry. Now, they can hold whatever speed they want as long as they can maintain inside that lane through turns 3 and 4, but they have to be down to speed by the time they hit that commitment cone.
Yeah, it's very difficult, right? every driver's mentality is always, oh, turn 4, turn. No, it's turn 3. Turn 3. You got to be on your marks. You got to be a little more heads up because you're not used to it. This is the only track on the iRacing circuit on the oval side of things that'll do that to you in turn 3. Not the only. There's a dual pit road situation at Bristol, of course, but that's off of turn 2, not 3. So still single file. Majority of the field goes to 27. Steve Harden from 29th, Dustin, finds himself leading this pack momentarily with Austin Wheeler in the 48 right behind him. Peyton Holland, Bryce Hedgecock, Dylan Ellis. A couple new names sitting in the top 5 after the fast guys came down pit road just a couple laps ago.
Yeah, and the 27, Steve Harden, has been up front now, has led 5 laps today. Got himself in a good position. And remember, they still have to make a green flag pit stop to finish it out, to be able to make it to the end right now, Jeremy. But as it sits right now, I mean, Harden, Wheeler, Holland, Hedgecock, Ellis, your top 5 right now. You got Tyler Bowling, David Mayberry back there as well. Still holding on strong, Jeremy. We got 27 laps to go in the BK Designs 200.
And we got a lot of just clean, solid single file still going on here. A lot of spacing to be had. If we kind of zoom out a little bit, like on TV9 from Whiplash Cams, you can see the exact camera I'm watching here. Look at the spacing. A full car length between each and every single car out here. I know these Gen 7s have a big air bubble behind them with not a tall spoiler compared to the trucks, anyways, who can close that gap in, but somehow this bubble is just kind of really spacing the field out. And since we had those pit stops so early from the race lead, Dustin, I'm kind of curious on how much longer these guys can go. Maybe our TwistedSpeedSetups.com race telemetry can see that estimated fuel mileage.
Absolutely. Pull that up. We're riding on board with Mitch Diamond right now, and there you see, and again, that is an estimated fuel amount based on an average of a 45-lap fuel run, which that's right about where it's at for a 75% fuel load here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. So they can still go, Jeremy, but definitely not going to be enough to make it to the end for the next 24 laps. But I would say, Jeremy, that they're going to be coming down pit road here at least within the next 10 laps with the amount of estimated fuel that they have left.
Yeah, so, I mean, they know the cautions on average are quite frequent, so staying out might be the strategy to go. Just run this thing till you're almost dry. You're not really going to find your tag team partners out here because you're all single file and you can't pass each other. So it's kind of hard to do that in this situation. They're all at the bottom, so on the preferred lane to drop to the apron when they need to come down to pit road. So they're just kind of riding this thing out. Hopefully they got somebody to work with. Hopefully they're in communications as we're coming up to 20 laps to go here in the next 2 laps.
Yeah, and our AI Chief Pit Stop report right now, that is your top 10 from Steve Harden all the way down to Al Likens, 1st through 10th. And you can see some of these numbers. Last on pit road, Steve Harden, 53 laps ago. So clearly, again, caution laps will extend that. If you're working and running in the draft, you can save with your throttle control. But looking further down, Austin Wheeler, 33 laps. Austin may be able to make it if he can save fuel, Jeremy. That's something that we haven't really talked about, is saving that fuel. And if you can get close enough, I mean, we were talking 45 laps was the window, but if you can maintain that, you can stretch that further. And if there's caution laps, you can stretch it further than that. So, Jeremy, there may be some of these drivers that might be able to pull this off. I mean, you look at Peyton Holland, 29 laps since last pit stop. It's doable. It is 100% doable.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. It sounds like it would be, right?
It'll be close. I'm not saying it's not going to be close. Like, it's going to be close.
27 doesn't think so.
Well, the 27 was out there for 53, 54 laps. He wasn't going to make it. Now, Austin Wheeler trying to save fuel. He is in the worst spot possible right now. This is not where he wants to be. He is going to be burning so much fuel. But the 19 now, Peyton Holland, who was last on when we had that pit road report by AI Chief up, was 29 laps. he could. I mean, it's going to be close. They're going to have to really save, try to get it done. But Jeremy, we've seen fuel mileage. You and I have been part of fuel mileage before. Sometimes we don't come out on the winning side of that, but every once in a while we do, and we can stretch it out like that. So it's possible.
Maybe you can. I'm terrible at it. I just stick with the big pack. If I stick with the big pack and don't think about, because I've come to learn that I always think backwards compared to everybody else. And so if I'm going to try to shortcut, usually it's the wrong choice. And when it's the right choice, you know, I feel like I won the lottery. It's really that rare of a moment in my mind. But so I'm coming down with the big pack. I'm looking, if I'm sitting in even second or third in line, I am scouring the chat, seeing who's with who. And I'm going to come down pit road, who I think is going to produce the most draft assistance for my car. And I'm sure a lot of these other guys are thinking kind of sort of the same thing, because these teams are all spaced out from one another.
So what you're saying is you ride the coattails, or shall we say the shirt tails of another driver?
One would say. Can't confirm.
Fair enough. I tried to segue there, Jeremy. You didn't pick up on what I was doing.
I am so sorry.
Jeremy, we have a product line.
What do you mean you have a product line? You think that the things that we wear on our backs every single day when we go to work or when we come home? And,
Yeah,
that product. Yeah, shirtitudes. There you go. Look at that. You got nerdy stuff all over the place. You got your classic Nintendo shirt, Blow Me. That's a fun one there. Of course, right there you got our official esports jerseys, and all this is produced from Icon Apparel Company, ordered directly from the Nerditudes.gg website. Custom embroidered hats, gloves. Those are real gloves. Those aren't just photoshops. Me and Dustin both have those in our drawer. That I play games periodically. Looking at my crits. That's always a fun one, right? So there you go. It's going to be at nerditudes.gg. And thank you to Icon Apparel Company for supplying all of our apparel. Very comfortable stuff.
It is. It's fantastic stuff. So glad to have them on board. Supply and equip us with what we need to stay cool, calm, and dry, especially during those very sweaty gaming moments. And then also give us the platform to sit here and have some fun and make some fun design shirts that are gaming themed. But talking about fun, Jeremy, this stuff is starting to heat up as we have a mixture of drivers right now in this pack that I mean, they're not all here. Natasha Bedouin is the last one that's on the lead lap right here, and that's in 12th place, Jeremy. But we have a mix, and we have some cars that are a lap down trying to get their lap back the hard way right now that did take that pit stop. So it's getting interesting. But right now, out front, it's still Austin Wheeler out front, burning more fuel than what he would like. And then you got the 94, Brandon Finley. That is not for position, mind you. Not for position. Brandon Finley is actually slotted back in 18th position, not on the lead lap. But Peyton Holland and that 19 Ghost Machine there, that is your second place driver for position. And Jeremy, if my calculations are somewhat accurate, and again, a lot of times my math just doesn't math, but if my calculations are even remotely accurate, the 19, if he saves, could possibly make it the rest of the way. 48 of Austin Wheeler burning the fuel up front, currently unknown.
Currently unknown. They started collecting data. So when you lead the pack after drafting for so long, he's been watching his laps to go mark, right? You can see on board on your F4 or F3 button there on your keyboard. You can see how many laps you have in the tank, and as you take the lead from a draft, then you watch that time go. Like, you know what? I thought I was on pace for 17 laps left, but now I got 15, and that number's still dropping for the 48. It's probably close to being settled at this point. As you're watching the 29. Oh, contact twice with the 6 and the 29. David Mayberry on the inside here. Al Likens on the top. 2 double touches there, and they're still kind of squeezing it. 3 wide almost is Daryl and car number 60 looking to make some moves. And Dustin, we finally got some outside action. They are trying anything because we got under 10 laps to go.
Yeah, and I don't know if the 60 was trying something or if that car just plowed through the corner exit there, but so close to scrubbing the rear bumper of Al Likens there, which could have been could have been catastrophic. But they keep it going. But yeah, Al Likens currently slotted in 7th place right now. The 60 is not on the lead lap, slotted back in 23rd, but assisting the 6 of Al Likens trying to get something going is Al still battling with the 29 of Mayberry.
This is like looking like a 2002 Daytona race here in the Cup Series, as they're just spaced out through the front half of the field, and then you get the 2x2 mid-pack coming up to 7 laps remaining. 660, 56, 20, leading the charge on the outside, slowly trying. The times aren't showing it. They just need 1 or 2 more cars, Dustin, and they might have a chance to squeak into a top 5 position.
Yeah, and they very well could. I mean, and it's not going to take much. Like you said, 1 or 2 cars. That's 1 car. The 29 drifts up there, gets real close. They just need 1 car in front to pull out and try it. Maybe 1 car behind to pull up and just add to that draft pull right now. But as it sits, Jeremy, they just do not have the momentum to get anything going. They have just been stagnant, stalemated just outside the 29 of David Mayberry. Up front, though, still Austin Wheeler leading the way. You got Brandon Finley still pushing him, again, not for position, but riding in that draft wake right now, the 19 of Peyton Holland. And Jeremy, if I was a bet man, keep an eye on that 19. He's in that catbird seat right now. If he can get the help, he might be able to sit here and slingshot and make that last lap, last-ditch effort pass that could pose for a fantastic finish.
Tyler Bowling moves to the top, one of the fastest guys, stage 1 winner. He is going to try to lead Al Likens and Daryl Johnson up here on the outside. Try to get anything going for these guys here. And back straight away here, got a nice 5 laps to go. Oh, the 99. Ooh, that was a close maneuver. Almost caused a wreck there on the back straightaway. Dylan Ellis causing a little bit of separation between the top 5. That's going to help the likes of Austin Wheeler and Brandon Finley and the 19 of Peyton Holland. And here we go, 4 laps to go. Here comes the 15. Going to try once more, but Dustin, there's just the draft is so strange with these Gen 7 cars right now that they can't do anything.
Yeah, and that I can tell you right now is, the 84 Eddie Baker drifts up 3 wide right now. As we come through the corner, they still 3 wide. That's Brandon Biddy on the inside. You got the 6 of Daryl Johnson on the outside right now. Still 3 wide going through the corner. Now, the 60 is not for position, Jeremy. But, is... Again, this is where it gets crazy. It is for position.
Austin can't make it on fuel.
All those guys are for position. They're just not on the lead lap, and that's what I was talking about, Jeremy. Austin cannot make it on fuel. That's what I was afraid of. He was burning too much. And, Jeremy, with 3 laps to go, I think Peyton has got it, and he's still staying in the draft wake right now. No! Contact made. That's going to take Holland out. That's going to take Finley out. No caution as they keep running, but that gives a race lead to the 18 of Bryce Hedgecock.
I don't know. There's the caution. I was going to say, I was just going to announce that I don't know. That should be a caution. That's a multi-car wreck in the rule book. That is a caution. And just for the second time in 2 weeks, we're going to have a yellow flag thrown just before the white flag is tossed in the air. And this is from the race lead. Austin Wheeler gives it up. The 19 all of a sudden has some momentum over the 94 for the first time and seemed like forever. And he's going to make a quick cut to the outside. I was making sure there wasn't any contact. Nope, I think 95. We'll go back. Either Brandon made a move to the outside to block, or the 19 of Peyton just cut it too close, took the air off 94, and it washed up into his left front.
Yeah, that's a tough one. You see the 19 Holland go up to that high side, and
it's so close.
It is so close on that one. That is a tough one to try to do. We're going to back it up here just a little bit. We're going to see if we can't try to figure out what is going on. We're actually going to go helmet cam on this one here to see if we can't tell going through. So it's going to be right here and coming through. No, that's not a move up. He didn't make a quick move to
Yeah.
that top
Nope.
side, so that just seems like that quick evasive move on the 19 to try to go to that high side just pulled the air off the rear spoiler of the 94 there. So that's just a product of these cars, Jeremy, unfortunately. And the one that and it cost the 94, a chance to sit here and possibly get that lucky dog, and just took the 19's chances of possibly getting a race win right out the door.
Yeah, you hate to see it. You really do, except if you're the number 48 of Austin Wheeler, who made the depressing entry to pit road with just a couple laps to go. And now the 48 is going to be on the lead lap. Maybe has some type of a chance. I don't know, but this is our first of 3 green-white checkered attempts on lap 132 currently, or 131 rather. Dustin, man, that was... We get a side-by-side finish now. These guys have been good on the short stint of it. We saw it in the very opening laps of the race. Side-by-side can be done early. And so, this could get very, very dicey as the points implications have spread across this field in multiple different ways, including 2 wrecks from your points leader, Nate Lesko.
Yeah, and now we see a completely different top 5 right now. 6 of Al Likens, David Mayberry, Brandon Biddy, Blake Treywick, and Natasha Boudouin in the top 5, Jeremy. Excellent night. If they can play their cards right, I think we're in for a really good show tonight, and I think we're going to see a first-time winner this season in Victory Lane for sure. It's going to be a good one. It's a heartbreaker for drivers like Peyton Holland, who had it on fuel. Heartbreaker for Austin Wheeler, who was leading all the way up to that, had to come down pit road to get a splash and go to make it to the end. But it's going to get interesting, Jeremy. Like you said, first of 3 attempts on a green-white checker to end this thing under green flag racing conditions. I don't know. I don't know if drivers like Austin Wheeler, who had to come down pit road, now slotted back in 11th, I don't know if he's going to have enough. He's going to have to really see where that momentum's at. But, Jeremy, we have not seen anything really on that top side. I feel that if you're on that bottom side, you have a pretty secure spot on making gains and finishing well in this race. We have not seen the performance out of that top side all night long tonight here at Atlanta Motor Speedway for the BK Designs 200.
This potentially could be the last restart of the race here. We're going to have 2 laps to potentially figure this thing out. And actually, we might have a halt. There we go. We got halted. So, Dustin, this is going to scramble the eggs even more. We are over time. A lot of drivers were cutting it close on fuel already. Just before they halted the restart for one additional lap, a driver come up and said, "We're all super tight on fuel." And then I heard the "aww" as the caution was extended for one more lap. So I don't know, Dustin. You might see some drivers come down pit road. You might see a lot of running out of fuel. This is going to be probably the most chaotic restart I've seen in quite some time.
Yeah, and if you're a driver right now, it's the second that caution came out. If you were close, you should have been pushing the clutch in and killing your ignition right away and coasting that thing to conserve as much of that simulated Sunoco race fuel that you possibly can. It's going to be close, and Jeremy, you might be right. We might see drivers run out. We might see that wobble and everything else when they start sputtering. It's going to be interesting, but this is the risk that drivers take when they try to extend it out. Drivers don't have control of when cautions come out, what other drivers do that could, potentially do that. So you don't know if you're going to go to the end on a green flag, or if there's going to be a late race little flapping yellow thing like we just seen. It kind of throws a monkey wrench into things.
Extended the caution and gave race control time to figure out the wreck. And after a delayed moment, the 19 Peyton was deemed the incident causer here on this latest wreck here on the last couple laps left in the race. So Peyton Holland, EOL, and 19 Ghost Car, one of the fastest drivers in this field in the back half of this race, Dustin, now has the massive hill to climb.
Absolutely. And you know what? I agree with that call, Jeremy. From the angles that we have here and from what we've seen, I didn't see a block or anything from the 94. So, I mean, good heads up from race control to make sure they had the right call on there and taking the extra time. Green flag flies, though. 6 of Al Likens out front. Big time jump is the 99 of Dylan Ellis down to the inside, sliding through. No caution, though. That's inside that. Oh, man, this is tough, Jeremy. So tough.
Parks it.
Just parks it.
On the front stretch, like Josh Williams does in the Xfinity Series from, what, 5 years ago? Oh, car in the wall. Back straight away. One car really dropping back there. I think that was Bill Hagan, possibly. Yeah, car number 5.
Battle for the lead. Battle for the lead.
Blake Trawick. Oh, there's a wreck in the back. Nick Biddy.
White
flag. White flag to go. One lap to go, presented by absolutely nobody, Dustin.
Yeah, Blake Trawick right now drops down in front of Al Likens. Mitch Diamond to the outside all by himself. Can the 56 of Blake use Mitch as a pick, though, to keep that 6 behind? No, 6 clears, jumps to the outside. Now, Bryce Hedgecock is the pusher. Back behind Blake, side by side. 3 wide right now as Brandon Biddy goes to the inside, but it's going to be all Blake Trawick to the win.
Look at Austin Wheeler. He had to come down pit road, and he's going to finish top 5 as everyone wrecks right in front of him. And Austin Wheeler, that caution saved his race drastically. Not the winner of the race, but the winner overall, from going from first to last to first, essentially. As Blake Trawick steals this one tonight, a car that hasn't been really in the top 10 all night long. Gets a couple of good breaks. And the 56 takes home his first checker flag of 2026.
Yeah, the Mustang visits victory lane. That's copyrighted and trademarked Blake Trawick Incorporated, LLC. However you want to call it, but burns it down. What a finish, Jeremy. I mean, we knew it was going to be a wild one. You know, Blake took advantage of that outside run, used the 65 of Mitch Diamond, who was on the outside with no help, as a pick. And then the 3 wide battle behind him for second place. Brandon Biddy on the inside, who finishes second on the inside of both Al Likens and Bryce Hedgecock. That secured the deal for the 56. That's what he wanted to see in his mirror, Jeremy. What a finish. And like you said, Austin Wheeler restarted P11 by virtue of all the racing and the wrecks that were taking place. Still cracks in the top 5.
Impressive stuff there from Austin as we go over the unofficial results here for race number 7 of the 2026 season. Blake Trawick, Brandon Biddy, and Al Likens. We'll talk to them after this portion of the broadcast. Bryce Hedgecock, Austin Wheeler finishes in that top 5, 6 through 10. Nate Lesko from 2 wrecks, able to recover into 6, so great finish there for 20. Then you got Tyler Bowling, your stage winner, in 7th, David Mayberry 8th, Mitch Diamond and Tay McDonald to finish the top 10. Then 11th on back is Natasha Bedoin, Peyton Holland, Jeremiah Nelson, Dylan Picklesheimer, Nick Biddy, Dylan Ellis, who parks it on the front straightaway with the restart. Braxton DeWeese, Eddie Baker, Steve Harden, and Bill Hagan round out the top 20. And then everybody else is going to be Kevin Bullock in 21st, Brandon Finley, Daryl Johnson, Chris Cash, Robert Hottenbach, Dana Ryan, Raymond Bell, Christian Macrelli, Raymond Hanneman, and technically on the starting lineup but did not start, Tyler Curley. And there it is, 30 down, 130 laps complete. And we got our top 3 to talk to. So, Victory Fuel post-race show is going to be underway here. And we got 2 of our top 3. Just got to wait for Hedgecock real quick. I got him right here. He's in the channel. And here we go.
Should be Al Like.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Let me move him back. Wrong person. You are correct. That was a blunder on my part. Sorry about that. My podium wasn't scrolled all the way up. Appreciate you for that heads up. Noobs.
I got you, boo-boo.
Noobs all over the place here. All right. There we go. Got the right one. Mr. Al Likens, car number 6, P3 here tonight. Al, congratulations. 5th place to start, 3rd place to finish, and you were up front for the whole part of the night there. What did it take to keep your car Running so good up front.
Just trying to maintain the bottom line, take the runs when you can, because the top group just seemed like it didn't work.
Yeah, we that's something that we were talking about like all race long. We were noticing that just never seemed like that top lane ever got enough organization to get anything done. But at the late stages of the race, when Blake Traywick dropped down in front of you and you guys were coming to that last lap, and you elected to jump to that high side, what was your hopes that something was gonna come from that you were gonna be able to try to get a run on that high side that hadn't been working all night long?
I just hoped the leader made a mistake or somebody got behind me or them two got into it and I got the win, but it did not work that way. Just a bad decision. The restart was horrible. But that's part of it. You learn from your mistakes.
Yeah, I tell you what, though, I mean, you guys put on a hell of a show, and I mean, a wild battle for that second position between yourself on the high side. It was Bryce Hedgecock in the center, Brandon Biddy on the inside. Like, that was an awesome sight to see you guys battling out like that. What did it take to hold on to it? Because, I mean, I know none of you guys were letting up. You guys were going balls to the wall at that point in time. How crazy was that coming out of turn 4?
I was just flat out, and if we rub, rubbing's racing, and hopefully I came out ahead, but I did not. I came up one short, well from second place, but man, it was a heck of a finish.
Absolutely, my man. But you know what? I mean, that is not anything to hang your head, low on. That was an awesome battle to watch. You guys definitely duked it out. Well deserved for third place, man. But the floor is yours. Any thoughts, any shout outs you want to give?
Yeah, I like to thank my teammates at Slightly Dangerous Racing and, my kids and God, and obviously the broadcast, what you all do in the league for having me in it. I really enjoy it. Thank y'all.
Yes, sir. Much appreciated there, and good luck next week. Maybe we'll talk to you then as well.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Now, Al Likens, car number 6, finishing P3 here tonight. Now we're going to talk to the man who had a very up and down day from car number 2, and it is the correct pole this time. Brandon Biddy there, starting back in 16th place, involved in an early wreck where I thought he had a lot of damage. Recovered to P2 from car number 2. What's going on, man?
Hey, man, if Tyler Reddick can do it, I can.
There you go. There's the mentality. If Tyler can, why can't my car do it?
Right.
Brandon, how much damage did you have on that thing? So you got body slammed there. I think it was in turn 2, if not mistaken. And I thought for a moment, the cautions helped you get that thing repaired, but that thing had been hurting, though.
Oh, the whole race, it was hurting. And then I had it fixed. And then I wasn't anticipating everybody to be stopping for the pace car. And so I kind of hooked it and wrecked myself. And from there, I couldn't fix it. But I had plenty of fuel to make it to the end of the race. And then they extended the caution one more lap. And I said, oh, no. So I was clutching it that last leading up to that. And then I don't know what happened. All I know is I just floored it. I said, if I run out, I run out. And the line opened up. And next thing you know, I was backwards crossing the finish line.
Yeah, tell us about that finish, though. I mean, that just is mind-boggling. The damage that you had throughout that race, and you were able to put it in there in a 3-wide battle for second between you, Bryce Hedgecock, and Al Likens, coming through 3 and 4, still holding it all the way to the line before anything happened, and you still crossed a second. How wild was it, and how much was your butt cheeks puckering up going through those corners 3 wide, knowing the damage you had?
Well, this was actually my third race this week at this track, and I've finished in the top 3. Well, all but one, but I finished 4th in that one. And so this is also my home track. So this is like my favorite track to race on. And so I just pushed the gas down and said I wasn't lifting until I see God or the checker flag. And
there it is. There it is.
And
the infamous arc quote, right?
Yeah, and I felt those guys on me, and so I turned the wheel a little bit, tried to tighten them up, to keep them from getting by me, and I got turned, and then I looked, and it said second, and I said, hey, it doesn't matter if I'm in the grandstands, I finished second. So.
I tell you what, though, man, hell of a run. We knew it was going to be a wild one, and you guys did not disappoint, not one bit. But heck of a run, well-deserved second place there. Good race by all you guys that were 3 wide battling it like that coming out of turn 4. But the floor is yours, my man. Shout outs, thanks, thoughts you want to give?
Yeah, just thank my team, thank my family for putting up with me racing tonight. Unfortunately, I'm not able to really race on Thursdays much anymore, but this being my home track, I said I've got to run this race. And yeah, just thank, I love your broadcast, everything, the league. Just thank everybody.
Appreciate your time there, Brandon. Congratulations on my part too, and go get him next week, man.
Everybody, thank you.
Yes, sir. Another guy with only one top 5, 7th in place in points until now. We're going to bring in the cow, the Mustang himself, the person who partnered with me for the Bathurst 12 Hour, Blake Trawick. What's going on, man? Congratulations for the first win and second top 5 of the season.
Thank you. It's been a rough season already.
Yeah, the window opened up there. You were just a top 10 car at best, man. We didn't see you in the top 5 at all. It was so hard to pass, it seemed like. And then just fuel mileage became a thing. Wrecks became a thing. And at what point did you realize that you had a solid chance at this win?
Well, as soon as we had that caution about 55 ago, I knew with some pretty good saving, it would be a good window to pit. And the likelihood if it went green, which I always bet on green flag runs and then change your strategy if you have to, because if you don't, that happens right there. So it came down. I'm like, we've been stuck in the back here because it's 2 lanes. You really can't get that third lane work through these next gens. You're kind of stuck in traffic. So I went with a fuel strat and just hoped it would play out, and it played out in our favor somehow.
Yeah, tell us about that last restart. Walk us through that for a moment, because, I mean, that last restart was kind of crazy a little bit. You were able to get that good run, get a little help from the 65 and Mitch Diamond, enough to clear Al Likens. And then Mitch had no help, and you used Mitch as a pick out there just to try to lock the 6 down there. And once the 6 was able to pull up to that top side, what was your thoughts knowing that high side really hadn't been working, going down that backstretch before entering 3? Walk us through that.
Well, on the restart there, everybody opened up perfect where I could drop down from the outside, because especially in the restarts, the outside it's like a bag of rocks. You drop so fast. So as soon as we dropped down, I was kind of okay running second, but I didn't realize how far ahead the 6 was. So I figured, if we can just get a big enough run here, get to his outside, if we get help on the outside, we'll be good. And we did for a second there, and as soon as I had the 6 cleared, I was not worried about the outside at all. I just go to the bottom and just stick it on the bottom, because it takes a lot for the outside to even work. And usually when coming to the white flag, everybody's trying to win, so they don't really line up very well. So I went for that. As soon as I saw him going 2 and 3 wide behind me going on 3, I felt confident that we had it, as long as we didn't run out of fuel, which we were close. We were very close.
Yeah, you still had enough to sit here and burn it down with that Mustang, but yeah, it's that had to be a good sight to see going into 3 when they were 3 wide like that, especially leading it at drafting track like Atlanta here. Daytona, Talladega is the same way when it comes to stuff like that. So I tell you what, though, excellent drive, man. You made all the right calls, made the right strategy call for fuel to give you enough to the end. Hell of a run tonight. But congratulations on your first win over here at Smoky Mountain Sim Racing. But the floor is yours, my man. Thoughts, shout-outs, thanks you want to give?
Yeah, definitely you guys up here in the booth streaming, putting on a good show for everybody here. Block clear this week. Shout out to everybody that did better tonight. Last week was really a rough one. So glad to see, hopefully it continues from here on out, that we get a little bit cleaner on that one, get good racing in like this. And everybody who's watching, thank you.
Blake Trawick, tonight's race winner for the first Trucker Flag this season. Blake, go get him next week. Maybe we'll talk to you back-to-back weeks.
Hopefully. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Mustang P1 here this evening after chaos. I knew it was going to be chaotic. I thought it was going to be more on the fuel mileage side, not so much wreck after wreck getting to the line. But man, oh man, Austin Wheeler just gets my kudos. All my kudos go to the 48 from restarting almost, or definitely outside the top 10 and somehow squeak. He was 2/100ths of a way, Dustin, going from 5th to 3rd place. He almost snuck in a podium finish, starting way in the back. So job well done for quite a bit of these drivers here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it was a heck of a run. I mean, you talk about making the right calls and going in the right lanes. I mean, he cold trickled the crap out of that thing on that last lap, and
Sure
I mean,
did.
it paid off, man. But I mean, I agree with Blake. I mean, yeah, we had a number of cautions tonight, but I mean, we've reviewed a lot of those, Jeremy, and a lot of them were, a product of the car and the track combination, especially on older tires, that drift up, that plowing effect that they have going up into another car. I would say that attributed to probably about half of the cautions we had tonight. But either way, I mean, the amount that we had tonight, hands down, way better than what we seen last week at Crashville. That's what it's going to be deemed now as Crashville at 22.
Crashville.
So, like Blake said, I mean, as long as the drivers keep having that give and take and keep moving forward like that, I mean, the racing's going to get better. I mean, and they put on a hell of a show tonight. That finish 3 wide for second. I mean, geez, Austin Wheeler coming from 11th, 12th place to come up and just be 2/100ths of a second outside of a podium. I mean, it was a fantastic race. Fuel mileage mixed in on it. I mean, it was good.
Nashville Crashville. I love that name. Well, I appreciate you guys tuning in. About 22-ish on the YouTube side, and we hold a consistent 3 viewers on the Twitch side. So once again, thank you for that. We need that 3 on all the broadcasts on the Twitch just to, elevate our program just a little bit more. But thank you guys for tuning in. 9 cautions, I think that was in total. So much better than last week. And hopefully it's a continuing trend like Blake said. So thumbs up for that. And you guys have a good rest of your night. Stay safe. Catch us live this coming Tuesday. Dustin, what you got for him?
And as always, not goodbye. Just till next time. You guys stay nerdy out there.
Touching and louder to the waves. Fuel burns in the glow of the pixel blaze. The rubber is rolling, the fist clenched tight. Your TV lights up the endless night.
Fight to fight, we live the speed. Our TV feeds our endless need. Heartbeats pounding, engines cry. Best broadcast under the virtual sky. Turn the wheel, feel the breakneck roll. Sim racer staring through the thunder soul. Gear shifts crack like a lightning storm. Digital warriors breaking the norm.
Turn the wheel through the breakneck roll. Sun races down through the thunder soul. Gear shifts crack like a lightning storm.